I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live. My mom said to me, you know, sweetheart, one day you should settle down and marry a rich man. And I said, Mom, I am a rich man. You know, my experience with men is great because I pick them because I like them. I don't need them.
So this video starts with Cher saying basically that she doesn't need a man. And for the 1% earner that she is, of course she doesn't. Of course she doesn't. She's made tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. She's incredibly wealthy. But one thing that I think is kind of interesting is this idea that needing a man or wanting a man is a kind of weakness. It seems like there's this programming that says if you need a man or if you want a man, it is a sign that you're weak, that you should be stronger than that. And so I'm going to show you an example of that. So I'm going to show you an example of Cher repackaged in a younger package.
Never wait for any man. You either want me or you don't. And, you know, a common phrase I think that we've all heard is never let a man tell you or show you more than once that they don't want you. So if I even feel a piece of like, I abort, I block, I dismiss myself. So it's like, you know what? You teased me, you were a tease. I had a little butterflies, but not anymore. I back down. I remove myself from this situation. I don't need you.
I want to stop it right there.
Anymore.
Now, this is programming that's getting downloaded into young ladies, basically saying if anything slightly wrong goes wrong, I abort, I cut off, I don't need you, I don't need this, I'm gone. And it is just not conducive to building relationships. And again, Chloe Bailey, another 1% earner. So it's very easy for her to say, you know what, I don't need this, I'm out. And bail on any relationship that you're in. But if this kind of programming is getting downloaded into average everyday young ladies, these young ladies are not learning how to build relationships either. And that is becoming the standard. That's becoming the norm. If something goes wrong, if a little bit of something goes wrong, I abort, right?
Because you showed me what I
Because you showed me.
So I back down.
So I back down, I leave it.
Never wait for any man.
Never wait for any man.
You either want me or you don't.
You either want me or you don't.
You know, a common phrase I think that we've all heard is never let a man tell you.
Never
or
let a man show
you
me that he doesn't want you more than
if
once.
I even feel a
So if she
piece
feels even a
of like,
little piece of like something, I abort.
I abort. I block. I dismiss myself.
I dismiss myself.
You know what? You teased me. You were a
tease
tease.
me.
I had a little butterflies,
Okay,
but not
little
anymore.
butterflies are
I
gone.
back down. I remove myself from this situation. I don't need you.
And I don't
really
need you.
want you anymore.
Now, what's interesting about this kind of messaging is that this messaging has a very strong effect on young girls, young ladies, right? And so you'll see like the responses. This is exactly why I'm single. And that gets 1,000, 1,100 likes, right? Or when it comes to relationships, I'm a quitter. Or what she said. And I needed to hear this. So I think what you're seeing is an environment that is becoming increasingly difficult to build solid, lasting relationships. This is a new generation of young ladies that are basically saying, if things aren't perfect, I'll abort. If the relationship's not working the way I want it to work, I quit. And relationships just simply can't work that way. And it's unfortunate that this is the programming, but it's just, you can see why a lot of passport brothers are just saying, you know what, I got to go somewhere else because this is not really going to end in anything that's going to last. You can't build any kind of lasting relationship if at the first sign of trouble, you're going to abort. And the interesting thing about this is that this seems to be somewhat of a unique way of thinking because this is not replicated everywhere. I'm going to show you show you an instance where it's not. So before I show you an example of the opposite, I want to show you another piece of programming, I would like to call it. Imagine if you're a young girl, you're 11, 15, 17, and you see your idol on television and she's talking like this.
I didn't know who I was, minus a man. I am finally learning who I am, and I love myself. Everything I do now isn't about pleasing some man, and that makes me feel so empowered. I didn't know.
Now, she's talking about feeling empowered, but we have to remember this is Nicki Minaj, who everything she does is sexual in nature. So her empowerment is I can basically sexually manipulate men, because that is the entirety of her music. Anaconda to whatever music, because I don't listen to it. But I don't have to worry about pleasing a man. I can just use my sexuality and my looks to, that's what she does. That's her music. And I'm not saying that she's wrong for this. She is 100% her right to do this. My point is, there are a lot of passport bros who just, if you don't want to do any of this stuff, then that's fine. You can go do that somewhere else. And if I want someone who wants to make sure her husband is happy, her man is happy, I'll just go somewhere else where that exists. And you can stay here and be empowered, and both people can be happy. I don't know if that's anything radical about that. You're empowered, you're self-sufficient, you don't want to do anything. You can stay where you are and function as you are. And if men are looking for something different than that, then men have the freedom to go somewhere else where they can find it. And I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like when you go somewhere else where you're kind of seeing not this. So I'm going to show you an instance where it is kind of the opposite. This is a TikTok that is basically saying, I'm looking for a boyfriend. I'll let you watch it first and then I'll translate it for you.
と付き合ったら
Okay. So pretty simple, right? So you kind of see these kind of TikToks quite a bit. I'm looking for a boyfriend, I'm looking for a husband type, right? So she says basically, 私と付き合ったら, if you become my guy, my boyfriend.
付き合ったら
So I want to meet you every day. I want to see you every day. I'll make delicious food for you. We can take a bath together, or we can wash in a bath together. And I'll be a girl that you can be proud of. Just make sure you put me first. And that's her name. So she's saying, just make sure that you prioritize me. And that's it. That's the TikTok.
私と付き
That's it. It's not, I don't need a man. It's not, men are holding me back. It's not, men are oppressing me, or I can do it all by myself. I don't need no man. It's not even an overt show of sexuality. It's just, I'm a young lady and I'm looking for a guy. It's that simple. And I'm not sure what's happened in the last, I don't know, few decades or so, but it's almost kind of this like demonizing the fact that men and women pair together and do well together. And it's a little bit, I don't know, I wouldn't say it knocks me off my kilter, if you will, to see just such a strong resistance to the fact that men and women should pair together and that women need men. I guess maybe women don't need men, I suppose, but I'm guessing what we're starting to see with the passport bro movement is that we're going to see in the next couple of decades how true or not true that actually is, because you're seeing a larger group of men just say, I'm not what is desired, so I'm going to go somewhere where I can find someone that's looking for a man that she wants to need. And most guys are looking for a situation where they can just be with someone that needs them. It's pretty simple. Most men, most passport bros do not want to dominate their women. They don't want to control or be a master over them. They just want to be with someone who needs them, someone who appreciates them, and someone who basically sees them as an integral part to their daily life and not as the enemy walking around in their house. And so, with that said, interesting times we're in. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.